On this episode of Stupid Money, I found my true calling.
This will make you an official hunk.
It was a hot Florida day, and it was a hot truck.
And then I tell them, I don't know, you tell me if I'm a hunk.
If you're ever in the Army, don't volunteer for driving the general's car.
Gotcha.
Because that's the general's car. That's not something you see every day.
You get nothing. You get a high five.
Have you ever done anything stupid with your money? It's been 40 years since I was a college hunk, but I'm ready to go. Have you ever done something stupid with your money? You ever made a guitar out of barnwood?
No, John.
I've always wanted a 4-button jacket.
You're ready to lose?
To the dentist office.
Thank you so very much.
How you
Great
doing?
to see you.
Likewise. Welcome to the house that Junk built.
Thank you. I'm anxious to see your place. I see a number of things here. One right behind you. Tell me about this. What's this door? Is that the first limo you owned?
Yeah, this is actually the door from the original beat-up cargo van that my business partner and I, Omar Solomon, used to haul junk going into our senior year of college.
What was amazing to me is that he started this business when he was in college.
So we borrowed it from Omar's mom's furniture store, and we just went around town putting flyers in mailboxes that said College Hunks Hauling Junk, had our cell phone on it. And Omar actually wanted to keep the whole van. He said, you know, would Babe Ruth get rid of the first bat he hit a home run with? But I didn't think we had enough space for it, so we settled on keeping the door in the driver's seat. I do want to point out the dent in the side of the door is something that happened on a job. I think it was one of our very first jobs. A radiator fell down a flight of stairs and smashed into the side of the door. And so that was one of our first casualties of being business owners, was that dent right there. We were doing all the work ourselves, so we didn't have a call center, we didn't have a software. We were driving the van, we were hauling the junk, we were answering the cell phone, and we would have an 800 number on the back of the van that was routed to our cell phone. And so we'd be multitasking in the van while driving, not probably the safest thing to do. People would call the 800 number on the back of the van to complain about the erratic driving. I'd be the one in the driver's seat answering the phone and saying, no, we don't condone that type of driving in our company. We'll tell those guys to be safer when they're on the road. We probably fired ourselves at least 3 or 4 times that first summer. And you know, that's actually when a mentor recommended to us, if you're gonna grow, you gotta learn how to work on the business, not just in the business. You gotta create.
Driving like that, you fit right in on all that DC traffic.
Exactly. But that's one of those memories that really stands out for me in the
When
early
did you
days.
quit
Answering the phones and hauling. I would say it took us about a year to have the processes and systems to where we could have confidence to hire people to do the work that we were doing. Eventually have another truck, let alone eventually another location. That was going to be the key to having those systems and processes for us to scale.
Can you just pick out like 2 main impacts that stands out in your mind?
First would be the check from the business plan competition our senior year of college, and I think that gave us the confidence and the credibility to go on and actually start the business as a full-time venture after college. You know, our parents and friends were like, you're gonna graduate college and do what? Haul junk?
$10,000 check would give any graduate from college some confidence.
Exactly.
Good.
You know, we were actually on both Oprah and the Nate Berkus show a couple times, which was, again, for at the time, a very small business that had these big aspirational dreams of becoming national. Again, gave us confidence and credibility that we could be bigger than just a couple of guys driving around town in a cargo van. And the only other thing I'll mention, which was kind of neat, we had a team member doing a move at an assisted living facility, and the elevator got stuck, and there was an elderly woman in the elevator. She was having trouble standing, and the young man, one of our team members, got on his hands and knees and let her sit on his back for about an hour as the elevator was being worked on. So that photo was taken, it went viral, shared on social media, you know, millions of times.
Amazing.
And actually companies like Progressive Capital One, they use that now as part of their customer service training as an example of going above and beyond for the client. So those are just some little moments in time over the course of the history of our business that really stand out for me. And of course now we have over 100 franchise owners around the country, over 2,000 hunks hauling junk and moving furniture, and probably close to 1,000 trucks roaming the streets.
Before we go take a look, right behind you, tell me what this is for.
So we do a morning huddle every day, both the basketball hoop and the dartboard. We do trivia at the end of the morning huddle. And whichever team member wins the trivia gets a chance either at darts or basketball. And if they land it, then they get a free lunch.
So if I throw that and hit the bullseye, I get a free lunch?
You get a free lunch, exactly.
Where do I stand?
Probably stand right about here. I'll make it easy for you. So
Okay. Let me stand right here.
There you go, you got it.
Uh-oh, what do I get?
You get nothing. You get a high five.
All right. Let's go see your business.
So come check out where all the magic happens.
Wow, room full of cubicles and people, sights and sounds. Tell me, what's going on here?
So this is our sales and loyalty center. This is where we receive all inbound calls from all over the country, all 100 franchises around the country, clients that are looking for moving services or junk removal services.
Let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
I understand sales. Loyalty, what's that got?
Well, some people might call this a call center. We don't call it that. We call it our sales and loyalty center because we're people that have a need for the service. We're selling them and providing them solutions. But we are in the client loyalty business because we rely so heavily on repeat, referral, and reputation. So the team member's job here is not just to book appointments, but to generate loyalty from our clients.
To listen to him talk, he understood the cutting edge of business.
People always ask us, hey, are they all really hunks? That's the first question usually somebody's going to ask us, and we came up with an acronym to define hunks. It stands for honest, uniformed, nice, knowledgeable service.
I memorized that in case you asked me.
There you go. Oh, I should have asked you, yeah. But by that definition, I feel like I still qualify. So
you do. You're a good hunk.
I appreciate you too.
Let's stop here a minute. Yes. What's the deal there?
The answer is yes, and what's the question? That's our mindset we have here. We're a service concept. We're not a subscription-based business, so we rely heavily on addressing people's needs. So for us,
so you're intent on making sure you fulfill.
Yeah, if we can't or we don't do something, instead of saying no, we say let me find out or let me tell you what I can do for you.
If I got the wrong number and said I really want to know where that ice cream shop is, they would fulfill my request.
We will look for that ice cream shop and we'll provide it. Matter of fact, we had a story recently. We had a client in Phoenix, and the client's car broke down, and the hunk went out of his way to contact the local rental car agency and provide that information to the client to help them get a rental car. And so that's the idea, is saying, instead of saying no or I don't know or I can't, we say let me find out or here's what I can do for you. We didn't invent that. We got that from some of the world-class companies that provide great service, the 5-star luxury hotels and so forth.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's the way a company ought to be.
Yes, sir. We have 2 different training rooms that we utilize. This is our smaller kind of stadium-style training room. This is where we train new franchise owners when they come in for a week of franchise training. And I'll show you our larger training room. I think we actually have a class going on right now. We're going to interrupt you guys real quick and do a little walkthrough.
All right.
So this is our larger training room. As you can see, we've got a class of all-star sales and loyalty center agents that are learning how to wow the clients, book the appointments.
I want to give you a little piece of advice. There's a dartboard out there. You get the bullseye, you get a free lunch. You miss it, you get a high five.
Hey,
I'm glad you're in here.
Some might argue the high five is better than a free lunch.
Study hard.
So this is the team usually comes in for a week or 2 weeks of training to learn how to not just book appointments, but provide a really memorable experience for the clients on the phone, so they can be recommending us to their friends and neighbors and using us again and again. So
good company. I've heard some good stories. Fantastic.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for letting me interrupt. Thank you. This is our very large, very colorful break area.
So why did you make a break room so big?
We have 4 core values as an organization, and one of those is fun, enthusiastic team environment. We want to create a place where people want to be, they don't feel like they have to be. And to the extent that we can create an environment that's fun and playful and engaging, that's what we wanted to do.
Over on the wall, there is a good-looking hunk right in the center of that picture. His head's a little bigger than the others, but tell me about this guy.
This is our lovable college junk hunk. That's why we call him CJ. And he's a mascot suit that's kind of been part of our guerrilla marketing tactics.
Tell me what that is.
Guerrilla marketing is kind of, you got your traditional advertising, TV, radio, internet. Guerrilla marketing is more the grassroots advertising. So you park a truck on a visible corner so that people can see it. You put the CJ mascot out on the corner waving as people go by on the
Not
traffic.
bothering anybody, not trying to do a hard sell.
No,
just-
not a hard sale,
a presence.
just branding, just making your
cool.
presence known. And when we first started the business, that's actually how we got the name out, because we couldn't afford advertising on the radio or even the internet, and social media didn't exist back then. So it was all about getting people to see the brand. And one of our other core values is always branding.
Now that I'm in the call center, I wanted to have some fun, and I'm glad the managers were on board.
Thank you for calling College Hunks Hauling Junk and Moving. This is Ian speaking. How can I assist you in having a stress-free day?
Ian, John Matthews, I've got some stuff at my house to pick up and donate.
What is it that you have for pickup?
I have a old bandsaw. It's about 6 feet tall, and I don't know what to do with it, so if there was some kind of school that could use it, I'd like to move that.
2 guys can handle it, or do you
Oh
think
yeah, it'd take a couple of guys.
what would be your ideal pickup date for that?
Well, that's a problem. How about if I just, I'm about 15 feet away from you. How about if I just come over and set a date with you?
Well, there might not even be anybody there, to be honest. A lot of the times, all the guys are out working. This is the call center from College Hunks.
Are you Ian? Let's just hang up this phone call and let me talk to you in person, and we are going to set a date for you to come pick this thing up.
All right, sounds
How long have you worked here?
Well, it'll be 2 years this November coming up.
So you're going to make a career of this?
I'm not sure if I'm gonna make a career of this in the sales department. I wouldn't mind moving up in this company because it is a great company to work for.
It
I
is a
really
good
like
company.
it. Yeah, I really like it here.
It's on the cutting edge.
Yeah,
Well, this afternoon, I am going to go ride on one of the trucks,
nice.
and we're going to go
That'll
see
be
if we
fun.
can find somebody to donate us whatever they want to give us.
Nice.
He was a good sport.
That's pretty funny. I didn't see that one coming.
Well, that's what we were hoping. That
Yeah.
you would see it coming.
I really enjoyed the tour, but I couldn't wait to sit down with Nick and talk to him about his business. I've seen a number of businesses as I've traveled around the country, but you have a business that's operating on cutting edge philosophy. And what is that? I mean, if a business doesn't do some of these things, then they may not survive.
So we didn't invent the next Facebook or the next Google. We didn't, create some high-tech business. We took a very simple business, moving, trucks and labor, and we put a very fresh approach to it. And so when people ask me, what do you do? I don't say we're a moving and junk removal company. I say we're a purpose-driven, values-based, socially conscious organization that happens to move people's stuff and helps them get rid of their unwanted items or move them from point A to point B. I know it sounds like a lot of buzzwords, but it really is how we're operating.
Nick was down to earth, pleasant, and easy to talk to. You don't always find that in a business owner of such a large business.
We enjoy watching the impact it has on our team members, our franchise owners, and our clients. I think that's what gets me out of bed in the morning as an owner. One of the slogans or mantras we have for ourselves is don't chase the money, chase the dream. And our vision or dream is to become recognized as a world-class iconic brand that's giving people a platform to learn business, to learn customer service, and to have their own business in the franchise sector as well. It's funny, it was the work itself is pretty tough. It's blue collar, tedious, you're getting your hands dirty, you're crawling through crawl spaces, hauling junk, you're moving furniture, you know, trying not to scratch walls or floors. But I never had more fun in any job experience than I did that summer hauling the junk and moving people's furniture, because it was exciting. We were creating, we were innovating, we were doing things our own, and we were seeing the immediate impact it had for people. All the experiences I had had in other jobs or internships was pretty unfulfilling, and I couldn't see myself doing it for the next 20, 30, 40 years of my life. So that first time we bent down to pick up the couch, I'm not gonna lie, we were like, are we really doing this? And then once we went and put it on the truck, I was like, okay, we're doing this. And when I was in the corporate world, I wasn't enjoying getting out of bed in the morning. And I emailed my buddy who I had hauled junk with the prior summer and said, you know, hey, I'm not enjoying this. What's our timeline for starting this business? He emailed me back all capital letters. My timeline's right now, exclamation point, let's do this. And we quit our jobs and started hauling junk full time. And we saw some raised eyebrows. Parents, friends said, you're gonna quit your jobs to do what? Haul junk and move? And it's gonna be called what? College hunks? You know, you're gonna throw away your college degree to start a trash business. But we use that as motivation to say, you know, let's prove everybody wrong. We think there's something to this name, the brand. We think there's something to the service that we can improve for people. And we had this lofty vision of becoming a national franchise company.
Vision, following your dream. Okay, you already told me that there were some bumps in the road. I'm just gonna be right up front.
Have you ever done anything stupid with your money?
It's amazing to me that a person can take an idea and turn it into a multi-million-dollar business, but will still admit they've made mistakes and done something stupid with their money.
Yes, probably the first and stupidest thing we did when we moved down to Florida, our headquarters to Florida, is we bought a boat. And of course they say the best time in a boat owner's life is the day they buy it and the day they sell it. And I can sit here today and tell you that's very true. Omar and I are from Washington, D.C. We were city slickers. We knew nothing about boat ownership. We probably beached it 3 or 4 times on the sandbar. We probably had to replace 2 or 3 engines because we forgot to flush it. We really couldn't afford it at the time. You know, the price tag that we bought it for ended up being 3 or 4 times that once you factor in all the maintenance and the upkeep. So that was the stupidest thing we've done, and you know, now they say the best kind of boat is your friend's boat, and I believe that's true.
I'm in pain just hearing you tell that story. What did you learn from that?
You know, I learned from it. You've got to be smart with your money. You got to be a little bit forward thinking, and you got to understand the difference between a liability and an asset, or an investment and an expense. And so we've kind of taken that personal lesson and applied it here in business. You know, in business you do take some expense chances, you know, on a new marketing idea or a new initiative, but you've got to analyze those numbers to decide if it's going to provide a return for you. I guess you could argue that the boat might return sort of a personal enjoyment or fulfillment, but you could rent a boat for a lot less than it costs to own it, and you still get the same fun and enjoyment out on the water. So that was really the lesson for me, is understanding the difference between the liability and the asset, and continue to try to accumulate assets. And the more assets you get, you don't go out and just run out and buy more liabilities.
Right. One thing that really perked my interest is you give back. You get involved with feeding children everywhere. Mm-hmm. And every business contact that has a job completed, you donate 2 meals. Tell me, how did you get involved in that?
So as I mentioned, we consider ourselves a values-based, purpose-driven organization, and we say our purpose is to move the world, not just moving people's stuff physically, but moving people emotionally, making a difference in people's lives. And it was actually our franchise owners that came to us one day and said, you know, we really ought to have a national social cause that we engage with that becomes almost synonymous with our brand and our brand efforts. And we actually surveyed all of our franchise owners, our team members, and our clients, and we said, what cause is most important to you? And childhood hunger actually was the top rated on all 3 of those constituents. And we looked into childhood hunger charities and found that feeding children everywhere is one that we could really wrap our heads behind, because what we do is, as you mentioned, donate 2 meals for every completed job. We donated over 350,000 meals last year. We want to do over 1 million meals in the first 3 years, which will certainly surpass. And there's an experiential component to it as well, because we host hunger projects. We're actually bagging up the meals, providing the labor.
So this is not just writing a check to them, or you do that and you also participate in bagging those meals.
Exactly, because if you're just writing a check, we feel like it's very very left brain. It's somewhat cerebral. You write the check and anybody can do that, but when you experience something and the physical act of bagging up the meals and in some cases being able to see the impact on the community that you're helping with that, it touches your heart and you really rally behind it and become very passionate about it. And I think it's galvanized everybody in our organization around that.
I have enjoyed visiting with you. You really know your business well, and you're one busy president of a company. But I cannot wait to go get my hands on some junk. I want to ride in the truck, and I want to see if there's somebody out there that will donate something to someone else.
Awesome. Well, you look ready for it, except you're missing one thing, and that is the official College Hunks Hauling Junk jersey. This will make you an official hunk.
I like that.
Always branding, as we say. You're not in a hunk unless you're wearing the uniform, and you can represent it well. Make us proud out there.
It's not every day you get to sit down with Nick Friedman, but I couldn't wait to get on the truck.
Hello?
Hey, is this Lenny?
Yes, it is.
This is John Matthews with College Hunks. Are you still game for us to come by and pick up some things?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll be there in about 10 minutes.
All right, see you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
It was a hot Florida day, and it was a hot truck.
Think you might work at this company after college? Or
I definitely see the potential.
yeah.
I love this company. I would meet tons of people, from all different types of backgrounds. And, I just love talking to people. I love meeting new people. And this is the one way you actually feel like you're actually helping somebody, Nobody likes moving. Nobody likes, purging the stuff that they really care about. And so when you can come through and do it and help them out.
So you go to places, to homes, and people say, where on earth did you get that name? College Hunks.
I think the one that we hear most is what people say, are you guys actual hunks? And we say, are you guys actually in college? Yeah, that's one. Yeah.
Yes, I actually am in college.
And then I tell them, I don't know. You tell me if I'm a hunk. Give them a nice little smile.
Yeah. Well, I have an interesting question for you.
All right.
Roberto,
Yes.
what's a stupid thing you've ever done with your money?
With my money?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Bought a lot of clothes that didn't fit, I guess, or like clothes I didn't really need. The place we went to didn't have a fitting room, so I was like, okay, well, it looks like it fits. And then when I go back home, try to put it on, and I ripped all the tags off, so I was so excited. And I'm not fitting. So
Okay, then what did you do with them?
I just gave them away.
Gave them away.
And you learned
To put your clothes on first.
Go in the fitting room.
Oh, me. I have a feeling most of us have done that from one time or another. All right, Adrian,
Yes, sir.
what's a stupid thing you've ever done with your money?
I would probably have to say I bought a motorcycle helmet that was $800.
$800.
Yeah, the lady she got me. She sold me. She said, if you're gonna get in a motorcycle accident, you have one chance at protecting your head. You might as well, put the best helmet on. So I said to me, I said, yeah, it's a no-brainer. I want to live. I want to protect my head. And so, I got my motorcycle license and I got the motorcycle helmet and I got all the gear. And that was about a year ago, and I still don't have a motorcycle. So I just got all this nice, motorcycle gear and equipment, and I know how to ride. And I just don't have a motorcycle, so it's not being put to use. It was just a waste of $1,000.
Well, you got a bicycle?
I don't even have a bicycle.
I couldn't help but notice the Lord's Supper tattooed on his arm. That's not something you see every day. Tell me about your tattoos. How did you happen to choose the Lord's Supper?
My dad was actually a pastor growing up, and that's the main reason why I want to be a pastor. Once I get out of school and everything, I think that's God's purpose for my life. And my dad actually passed away this past January, and so when he passed away, you know, it was really an eye-opening experience for me.
Yeah.
It was the first major loss I ever had.
Sometimes it's easy to judge people by what you see, but when you talk with them, you really can find out their true character.
When I was at his funeral, the message that was brought to me was, it's about the impact. It's not about the things that you have, because in this life everything is material, and you know the Bible tells us that this world is not this earth is not our home.
It's not our home.
You know, but when my dad passed away, that was the first like real, hey, this earth is not our home. But you know, everybody that came up to me and expressed their condolences and everything, the one thing that they told me was, you know, about how you know outgoing my dad was and how he brought them to Christ. And so, you know, when I decided to get the Lord's Supper tattoo, a lot of people see it and they're like, wow, is that the Lord's Supper tattoo? And I'm like, yeah, but it just opens up the ability to talk to people about Jesus and really about, hey, this is the Last Supper before he died for your sins. So, you know, no matter what you're going through, you know, you're
Well, your
forgiven.
dad was a powerful witness passing that gospel torch on to you.
Yes, sir.
And
I love him for it.
and you'd be a good pastor.
Oh, thank you.
And this guy over here, he could be your manager.
All right, we're almost here. It's going to be right. Looks like it's going to be right on the other side of the stop sign up here.
All right.
Before we pull up to the house, this is always the secret to all success. Freshness right there.
Freshness right there.
Got to make sure, you know, we're talking to the clients, give them a nice little fresh breath, make sure we're good to go.
Boy, that's got a bite.
It's got a nice little bite to it, doesn't it? All right. Got some paperwork, got the gloves on top for you.
All right, let's go.
After you.
Do it.
Just have some debris here from my renovations. Just need it hauled away.
So this is what's left.
That's it.
Okay, we'll take good care of it. I see. You know that wheelbarrow?
Yep.
If you're ever in the Army, don't volunteer for anything, especially driving the general's car,
Gotcha.
because that's the general's car. So, all right, guys, let's go.
On three. 1, 2, 3. Ready? Sit up there. Help him out, Adrian? Yes, sir. All right. Sit down with your hands. All right.
I think they ought to increase your salary.
Watch your feet.
We done?
Yes, sir.
I qualify to get a job.
There it is.
There you go. To be successful in life, your home or business, there is no room for being lazy. Remember, start with purpose, values, and goals, and then execute.